Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer. I'm joined today by Todd, portraying Astro Jamin.
Hello?
Chuck, portraying Evelene Bolick.
Wait, what?
Jeremy, portraying Dyne Starseeker.
Hey, yo.
And Jay, portraying Steve Starling.
What could B1 possibly mean?
Now, where we left off. The party had split to cover more ground. Astro delves into one of the factory buildings to find Evelene. Whilst searching, he determines the factory is making use of several high-grade synthetic and hard-to-source materials. Evelene, meanwhile, had forged deeply into the secured recesses of the facility and uncovered military equipment and ordnance being produced at scale. This production of arms, cloaked behind Project Rebirth, being evidence Evelene hoped to capture photographically and then escape. Unfortunately, a wholly enthralled Zippo Edge attacked with a loader mech, threatening to kill Evelene. Through a combination of Evelene admirably, constantly staying one step ahead, and the timely arrival of Astro, the dominated prisoner was dispatched. Elsewhere, Dyne and Steve head towards the admin building along with Diltep Knoll, an operative sent here by Ethic. Steve finds information in the control room about status of various staff members and where the information was being sent. The information implies the presence of supervision somewhere nearby they have yet to uncover. Concurrently, Dyne came across a room seemingly set up for tracking things beneath the ground of the city. Eventually, they found a hidden stairwell heading down into the basement and leave Diltep to guard the upstairs. Welcome back, pilots.
Hey.
Good to be back.
Hi.
Well, I think everyone had a real exciting time with Evelene and Astro, so we're going to give them a breather right now and
Thank
see what
goodness.
fresh hell the other two are getting up to.
Look, I'm convinced that Zippo just wanted to help Evelene by loading her into a missile. How that's going to help, I don't know, okay?
Let's agree to disagree.
It was well-meaning violence, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. There's always two sides of the argument kind of thinking there.
Maybe we should try not to split up so often. Starting to think about it, but I guess we're on a time table.
Yeah.
This is actually a bit of I was going to say paperwork. Paperwork is not the right word for what I was trying to say. There's a bit of bookkeeping I wanted to do at the top of today's session, because I think implicitly we as the game master and players understood this, but I don't think we actually spoke it into the sessions properly. So I want to give you this, and we can retroactively insert this where you guys think it's appropriate. But I want to remind you that DBC is out doing something else, right? They have the transmitter on it that is specifically like, the whole idea was to run basically like a false flag thing, right? Like the DBC is out somewhere else so that people think you guys are out somewhere else. You guys have no other way off this planet than the DBC coming to get you. So I wanted to check with you all when you would have contacted the DBC to start making its way here, because it's not instant. It will take a while for the DBC to get here.
I have to imagine it would be like as we're landing, because we're not even expecting to be there, right?
Yeah, you guys were not expecting to be here super long, but you did get in, you bought yourself a bunch of time. I did not know where in that process because we talked about before we even started this mission, we'll trigger the DBC to come get us, after we get down there and stuff, and they can throw the transmitter into deep space, right? And by the time people figure out we fucked them over, we'll be long gone. But we didn't actually say when that was taking place. And I want to have an idea in my head as the game master when the DBC arrives.
So remember when we bought ourselves a little bit of time with the security check-in?
Yeah.
I think it would make sense that at that point, that's when we got in touch with the DBC.
Okay.
So I was thinking that would be the latest, because at that point we understood we were on a timetable at the very least, and that we would need to get off at some point. But my question is, do we have an idea of roughly how far the DBC is from us, or how long it would take? Because if it was longer than like even a few hours, I would think that we would do it as we are landing or around that time.
Maybe a better way to look at this would be, is when do we want the DBC to be here? And then that'll sort of decide on when we should have called them in. Like, do we want them here in an hour? Or do we want them here in now?
That's kind of like thinking metagame, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say because I would say.
So let me posit this. When you guys landed, you were under fire and did not know how that was going to play out. So I doubt you called them as you were landing immediately, right? Because like you were fighting for your lives.
No, I was saying like before we launched, like as we're launching.
Like as you're coming down to the planet. Okay. So that would make sense. Also, anytime after the battle, between the battle and, like Todd said, the absolute latest being like when you guys bought yourself another, chunk of time. I have it written down here, but do any of you know off the top of your head how long I said the between check-ins?
It was like 3 hours.
I can find it again if you don't have it, but
no, I think it was 3 hours, right?
I think so too. I'm checking my notes.
Because we had an hour and a half because we were like halfway-ish through the last
buying
check-in,
themselves,
and then
buying themselves 3 more hours. So I have it written down here.
I was gonna say, I think it's reasonable to assume we told them when we were descending, and then when Todd or Astro did the security check-in, he would have given them an updated timetable, knowing that they were already on the way. But this is like our actual timetable with the information.
Time. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
I think that's reasonable.
Because but when you guys basically spent an hour exploring before the check-in, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that by now, at least another hour has passed. So you're like 2 hours on planet, 1 hour after that check-in that Todd did, that Astro did, that is.
Okay.
So the DBC would have been like 2 to 3 hours away. So depending on when you put that call in, the DBC would either be arriving now or like in a little bit from now. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So whoever, I just want someone to make the call about like when that took place.
So I mean, if it's 2 to 3 hours away, I still kind of think it makes sense that like after we delayed them, we told the DBC to come in and pick us up before we run out of our borrowed time. Because
you also didn't want the DBC to come here too early, because if the DBC gets detected coming in to pick you up, you kind of have to leave then anyway, right? Because at that point they're going to be on to you maybe if they start looking into things.
Right. Like we wanted some time to figure things out. So I don't think we would have, notified them right away to come and pick us up.
Okay. Then if everyone's cool with that, then that is when that took place.
Makes sense to me.
All right, cool beans. So the DBC is currently en route to where you are, but has not arrived yet. As a reminder, I think all of you have parked your mechs by the front gate, basically, right? Like just inside the gate that leads into this. There were some areas that were, basically like parking lots that you guys set up in. And I think Evelene and Astro were doing some maintenance to their mechs at the very beginning. Is that right?
And then I took over for Astro so he could explore.
So he could go do hacky things, right?
But Astro and Evelene's mech should be fixed up at this point.
They are. Yeah, that's all taken care of. Okay, cool beans. Then all we have is to get back into Dyne and Steve as they descend into B1 of the admin building. As you kind of open this secret door, not that secret, it's like something you could have noticed if you knew to look for it, but secret enough that it's like, okay, this is obviously used for, out of the ordinary stuff. You come into this stairwell. It's, not quite wide enough to feel comfortable going like two people next to each other, but it's like comfortable, for one person going down. It's not like a tight, narrow, cramped staircase or anything.
You'd have to tilt a couch going down it.
You'd have to tilt a couch. Yeah, totally. What are you guys doing as you descend down the staircase?
Just keeping an eye out for things. I don't think there's anything I would want to prep or do beforehand, so...
Yeah, same.
Okay. You slowly make your way down.
One thing I want to clarify. I think I talked to Astro before we went down, right? Or called out to them in the last session?
So you
would have been unable to because they are inside the factory.
That's right.
Yeah. So you guys knew you were cut off from them.
Okay.
I did tell you right before I went into the factory what I was doing.
I think that's what I was thinking of. I thought we communicated somehow, but I couldn't remember.
I'm going to the factory. Bye.
Cool.
Crunch.
All right. As Steve and Dyne descend the hidden stair in the admin building, they find themselves in a hallway wider than the staircase that led them here. Raised scaffolding on both sides, connected by metal catwalks across the center in regular intervals, basically, stretch out in front of you. You can see there's like a little corner, where the hallway moves to the right. But just in what you're able to see as you kind of exit is there is machinery and cables covering the walls like a thick ivy. It leaves only like small gaps in between the cabling and metal to see the cold concrete it's all like pressed up against and bolted into. Despite the obvious care that has been taken to keep this place cool and sterile, an odd humidity and earthy scent linger in the air. There's barely enough time to take in the surroundings before a group of guards round the corner further on, weapons raised. Dyne and Steve, in front of you, you see at the end of this long hallway a group of 4. They look like they're wearing slightly different uniforms than Zippo was wearing, but they're similar in style. Notably, none of them wear environmental protection, and all of them have the metal spines sticking out of their back. As they round the corner on you, they all are basically wielding like what the two of you would know as kind of like military surplus weaponry. It's the kind of stuff that, like, if you were outfitting a mercenary group, that you could get on the cheap. Right. This is not like this is like one step down from what modern militaries use. Right. This is like a decade-old hardware that there's probably still a bunch of it like circulating out in the world. That's what they're equipped with, but that's still good equipment. They take no time. They ask no questions. As soon as they round the corner, you see them spread out without speaking to each other at all. It's an odd sort of hushed silence, and you just hear boots on metal, people like huffing, throwing themselves up against like cover, and they're drawing down on you. How do you guys quickly react in the first few seconds?
I think I would like to take out a grenade. Are they within range of that?
It is quite a long hallway. 5 on the battlefield is your grenade distance, is what you're saying?
That's what it says, yeah.
Okay.
Range 5, blast
that
1.
would be far enough to get all the way down the hallway, yes. That's quite a distance. That's quite an arm you've got on you.
Apparently. I assumed it's like one of them, what do they call them? Like the plumpers grenade launcher
Oh, sure.
thingies.
Yeah, you have like either an underslung launcher or something like that, yeah.
or maybe I just did baseball, I don't know. Yeah, no, I'd like to do that if I could.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so without even stopping to like do anything else, as soon as they're taking positions on you, you immediately try to line up a grenade. So two things. The risks here are they are getting into firing position before you, and you are not taking cover, which means this is going to be a dangerous check, and they have full line of sight to you. But because you're throwing a grenade and it's early on in the fight, you have a higher than average chance to catch more than one of them in it.
Cool.
So yeah, what are you rolling?
Let's go with stay cool.
All right, yeah, this is you very much precision under pressure.
All right. And no accuracy or inaccuracy? No
accuracies here.
A 10.
A 10. A 10 is a dead-on success at a cost. Do you want to just say that it's like an underslung grenade launcher?
Sure. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you hear the telltale plunk of the grenade. You know, like the 40 millimeter grenade or whatever it is that you have, like just arc over everything. You took aim like just behind their barricades. You see a large flash of light. Unfortunately, you also see many small flashes of muzzle fire. You are going to take 3 pilot damage.
Okay, I have 2 armor, so I think I only take 1 then, right?
Are you wearing your whole heavy hard suit?
If I'm able to with the environmental suit, I would.
You can. I mean, yes. The hard suit actually goes on over top of your environmental suit. The environmental suit is smaller. It's more like, it's more like rad gear or something like that, like the plastic clothing basically, and then you would just wear that like a spacesuit as you got into your hard suit. We know, for example, that Astro is wearing his stealth hard suit over top of his, so you'd be able to do the same thing. Cool. Yeah, they fire down on you, nicks and scratches on your armor. You see some bleeding on your arm. You don't know where that's from as the adrenaline pumps, but you do see the explosion hit the wall behind 2 of them as they're thrown forward into the barricade they were taking cover behind, and they go down and they don't come up right away. So you either got them or stunned them heavily. You're not sure yet. Dyne, what are you doing in these first few seconds?
Seeing that Steve is tossing a grenade, and I figure they're probably a little bit distracted from that, I'm going to try and get cover quickly and take a defensive position and use that, and when I see the next one come up, take a pot shot, because I don't know what happened to the guys who got dropped behind the barricade, but when I see their head, I'm going to shoot.
Okay. You are going to have to hesitate a moment essentially to get into cover.
Yeah.
So as they basically had the drop on you, Steve took the shot anyway. But you take your time to also take cover. As a result, those first few shots then, they're not on you, but as the fight evolves, you are going to be up to attempt to get a shot off on them. I'm going to ask you to make a pilot check. This will also be dangerous, but now the risk to you is technically limited by the fact that both sides are in cover at this point.
Right. I think spot makes the most sense since I'm trying to catch someone who's like behind a barricade and probably just trying to get themselves back up.
Okay, I'll take it.
Right. 7.
You try to take your time and find where they're poking out. Unfortunately, with the 2 remaining, they're working in a synchronicity that you find impressive from your time working with crews. Like, it is very much as soon as like one pokes out, the other has covering fire. Like, you're never getting an easy shot on either of them. You put a few shots down range, but nothing that you think took any hits.
Okay.
So you don't take any. The danger here is you've been pinned down. You're going to have difficulty on whatever your next roll is because they have you suppressed.
Right. Okay.
Steve, what do you do?
So the remaining 2 guys are hiding behind a different cover, I assume.
Yeah, so imagine like at the end of the hallway, 2 went to the left side of the hallway and 2 went to the right side of the hallway. Imagine if like because remember there's scaffolding that comes up on like the left and the right. So in my head, I'm imagining one's high left, and one's high right, low right. I think your blast took out the people on the right, or at least knocked them down so that they have not been taking part in this part of the combat so far. You will have to check if you want to know for sure if they're down. You'll have to confirm your kill. You just know they haven't popped up and kept shooting yet.
Yeah, either way, they're not the immediate concern,
Exactly.
so it's fine either way. I tell you what I want to do. So you're saying they're on different levels?
Yeah. So
like one's higher up, a floor.
Yeah,
up
when I
whatever?
described the room, there's raised scaffolding on both sides with catwalks going across the middle. So this is actually like a 2-level room. Down the middle is like a walkway that is where the elevator opens. You're on the lower level in the middle. To the left and the right of you, there are raised walkways that both look down on the walkway you're on. And then there are catwalks that go across the middle so that you could go from the raised left to the raised right if you want to. Basically walking over top of the platform you're on. So there's someone on the raised walkway way back to the left, and then there's also someone low on the same level you're on the back left.
Okay. I have a heavy signature weapon.
Okay.
And I'd love to shoot that at the walkway where they're at and try to, if I can, blow it up, or you get them.
Okay.
Either with the damage or the fall, you know what I mean?
Yeah, being a loading and ordnance weapon, you have to, the risk here will be you still have not taken cover, right?
Yeah.
You will have to aim and fire out in the open if you want a shot at hitting your target. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with it too.
I think I am. Just real quick, I don't feel like I'm gonna miss the shot. I'm assuming like there's a straight line is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm not having to shoot around anything or whatever. They're not moving.
I mean, it's far away. If you're a good shot, you'll hit it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll take it. Let me unload that really quick. This is just an assault.
Yes, totally.
There we go. 15. And it's exactly as you surmised. As long as you can get sight on that target, you know you will hit it. You take your time, you aim, and you pull the trigger. Unfortunately, you're still getting pinged at. Luckily, your heavy heart suit is meant to handle this kind of pressure, but you are getting pushed back by this. Between the two of them, because you're the one out of cover and Dyne has taken cover, they're kind of both focusing on you. So that is going to be 3 and 3 on you. So 2 instances of 3. So your armor will work against both of those individually. So I think that's just 1 and 1 for you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's one of them is shooting you with 3 and the other is shooting you with 3.
All right. I'm at 9 out of 12 then.
But your missile, I assume it's like an RPG or something like that. It's or like a what do you envision when you fire this?
I figure like a shoulder mounted thing,
Oh, sure.
That like you can kind of aim at and just fire, and then I don't have to take my hands off of anything else then.
All right, yeah, and as it sings away into the distance, you watch as the entire upper platform to the back left almost gets can openered. The metal blows back, the entire platform rises up. The guy on top is caught up in the explosion, is thrown backwards off of it. There is no way that guy survived it, even if you don't see where he landed. You know that guy is toast.
Cool.
The remaining person has decided to drill down and pressure you. You see a grenade lobbed from a distance hit the ground and spiral around right to where the two of you are. What do the two of you do?
Dyne, because the guy is now refocusing his pressure on Steve, I assume he's not as focused on Dyne.
I would assume so, yeah.
Dyne is going to very quickly and hopefully grab the grenade and launch it far enough back that it won't explode in our faces.
Absolutely.
I think that's stay cool.
Yeah, this is a stay cool, absolutely.
22.
That was very cool. You dive out of cover, you grab the grenade off the ground, and then just whip it back as hard as you can through the air. As it spirals up through the air, it explodes, and you see it completely take out one of the catwalks that goes between the two sides as metal just rains down in the middle of the field. The only downside is neither of you were injured in any way. You're perfectly fine. You don't know where that guy went. In the chaos of the explosion, it is now eerily quiet in the room.
Okay.
I'll just move out of the middle of the hallway, even if it's just the side of a wall here.
Yep.
And then just start slowly moving forward.
Okay. What are you doing while Steve is doing this, Dyne?
If I'm gonna stay back and give Steve some cover.
Okay.
If he's moving down the hallway, I've got his back.
Okay. You just training your weapon downrange then? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
As you move down the hallway, Steve, you see the shreds and the shrapnel. You can see where some machinery on the wall is damaged. Steve, you actually see where on towards the ends of this hallway going into where the corner is that goes down the next hallway, you actually see on the walls incorporated into some of this machinery something that looks very familiar to you. They look very similar to what a drained empty version of one of those pods you saw
in the little pod ship,
at the Lev Integrated Technologies base back at the space station. You see a drained one of those here, incorporated into the machinery in the walls. As you get closer, you eventually get to a point where you're going to have to get behind the various obfuscations and pieces of cover that they were using. Are you going to chance peeking around or moving around the cover to get to the other side?
Yeah, I mean, moving carefully, listening, training my gun, all the normal stuff, right? But yes, I'm gonna keep moving forward to make sure those two from before are dead and there's nothing else in the immediate area.
I would like you to make a pilot check. Which, based on the skill triggers I see for you, you might not have one, but let's see if you can sell one to me. You don't have anything that's spot-like, that's seeing someone hidden, do you?
Investigate or read a situation doesn't really work.
Read a situation is for when you can see the person and intuit things from them. Investigate would take much longer than the amount of time you have.
No, I think the only thing that I could argue, depending on what's happening here, is assault or get somewhere quickly. But I don't.
This is going to be a straight pilot check then. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Since I've got his back and I'm actually watching, can I give him accuracy if I roll a spot check and succeed?
I'm going to say absolutely. Yeah, since you specifically said that you were watching his back, if you roll a spot check and succeed, he has accuracy.
Ooh,
this is going to be just an easy roll spot check.
19.
19.
All right.
You provide accuracy.
I rolled a 12. Thank you for that accuracy. 6 and 6.
Yeah, the accuracy got it for you. Steve, as you move forward, it is almost too late before you note. How does Dyne help here? What does Dyne point out that helps out here?
Dyne would, like, since Dyne is just watching Steve's back, like, Steve is looking right, and Dyne's like, on your left, on your left.
And at that moment, Steve, you catch just out of the corner of your eye, just quick enough, a spike, like a railroad tie kind of spike, like the size of your forearm kind of spike, fly. Just like you stop just soon enough. If you had taken a few more steps, that would have been hitting you. Fly past you and shear into the wall. As a person who looks heavily maimed, has like grit and shit that's like bloodied their entire like left side of their face, like blood has closed their left eyelid. They have like under their arm, they're holding it up with 2 arms. This giant, it almost looks like a harpoon launcher, but there are 3 holes in the front of it that each have one of these giant spikes loaded into it, and one of them just fired and missed you. This is one of the people that you think you got with the grenade at the beginning. You hear just silent, in utter silence, doesn't even make pain grunts for the movement, like the eye that's open at you shows no fear as he, in the open, just pulls something back and gets ready to fire again. But you have, since you dodged that, you have initiative here if you want to do something, Steve.
Yeah, and
he's like kind of behind
there.
cover, so Dyne doesn't have eyes on him. He saw the threat, but doesn't have a good shot. So you're kind of in priority.
Okay, but I do have a shot on him, like
Totally.
a straight shot. Okay. Yeah, I think I would take it, and I would do that as quick as I could. Yeah.
Okay, this is very dangerous. Dangerous roll for sure.
Trying to say maybe I should dodge. No, I would just try to shoot.
Okay.
Oh, 9.
A 9. Unfortunately, as fast as you are, this unfeeling, unhurting soldier pulls back another lever on this giant cannon-like device they have under their arm, and you just hear a whoosh, like it's very quiet as another one of these giant railroad spike-sized harpoons launches itself out of the front of this like tricuspid launcher device. It doesn't take you dead in the chest, luckily, but it hits you really hard and it shears off a fair amount of your heavy hardsuit. This is an armor-piercing shot that will do 3 pilot damage.
All right, 6 out of 12.
Unfeeling, has one more shot, just gets ready again. What do you two do?
This time I'm going to try to dodge and get out of the way.
All right, let's resolve that first then, Kestrel.
Okay.
Let's get you out of the way. Since you have a second to try and dodge, this is going to just be a straight up pilot check. You either succeed or don't succeed at dodging here.
Okay, I was hoping for get somewhere quick.
You can absolutely get somewhere quick.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah, I just mean it's not a dangerous check. Anything 10 and up
see.
is a success here.
Okay, cool. 9.
9. You try to get up and get going, but whatever damage you took to your heavy hardsuit is impeding your movement. It's either caught on something or the spike has thrown you off balance. Something has made you slower and you do not get out of the way in time. He's getting ready to fire again and you're still in full view. Dyne, do you want to do anything here?
Yeah, since I may not have a shot on him, but I know where he is, I'm going to try and lob a grenade so it lands like right behind him while he's distracted trying to fire that thing.
You have grenades, I assume. Then, yeah,
I have
you
two frag grenades.
two
Yes.
here. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. What are you using here?
This is probably a stay cool because I just saw Steve get harpooned.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give him some cover.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's see you throw this grenade.
16.
You lob over, and Steve, as you watch, you see the soldier, this heavily maimed soldier, get ready to like load and fire the last harpoon as it just pulls back the lever to fire again. And then you see a grenade land maybe like 2 feet behind where he's standing. And then not a second later, an explosion takes him in the back as you just see him like tense, as you know it was like some sort of frag grenade. Tense as his back is probably riddled with, gore as he falls forward, and you see his entire back is a blanket of red. That guy's out.
Cool.
All right.
Nice
Thanks for that.
Figured I'd toss it behind him so he could be a body bag to protect Steve from the explosion.
Yeah. Steve, as you kind of get your bearings, you look around, you see one of the 2 soldiers you caught at the beginning was already dead, is on the ground, unmoving. This was the other of the 2 that was just a little bit further out of the explosion. It maimed him badly, but didn't kill him. You can see along the wall, there are other pieces of or like armament here that are not like the standard issue gear that they walked in with. This person must have like stumbled over and grabbed one of them. There are 2 more launchers, harpoon launchers, just like the one this guy had. And then there is also along the wall, you see 2 what look like large spears that have a flat end on the end of them, that have like a little circle on the end of them, almost like they're stamps, like distance stamps. You don't know what they are just from casual look. These don't look like familiar things to you, but you got an example of how the launcher worked. So there's 2 more of those loaded up on the wall, and then there's these 2 sticks and an empty spot where you think a 3rd stick should go, but is not there. The person who was firing and stopped firing is gone. You see 3 bodies, but you don't know where the 4th person went.
Okay. Can I walk over to one of the sticks?
Yeah. They're like,
just be careful, but
you imagine a spear, right? So there's a long handle, and at the very end of the handle, it's almost like there's someone put a stamp at the end of the handle.
Mm-hmm. Well, first I'll turn around and look at Dyne, and then just hold up like one finger, and then point out.
Yeah.
And then I'll walk over towards one of the sticks if I can.
Yeah, totally. They're just hung up on the wall.
I don't know what this thing is, and that worries me a little. So
Sure.
I'm going to use it on the corpse near me to see what it does to it.
Okay.
I'm assuming, I don't know if there's a button or if I just press into it or not, but
There are no buttons of any sort on the handle or the haft. Where the stamp is at the very end of the handle, also nothing. It looks like someone put a stamp, like I said, on the end of a long stick. You're not sure what that's supposed to do, but there's no buttons to interact with.
okay. And when I press it into the corpse, it doesn't do anything?
When you press it into the corpse, an odd thing happens. The stamp at the very, very end of the handle presses in as you press it against the corpse and sticks. And then it snaps off the end of the handle. What do you do?
I run.
Good option, because as you run, you realize behind you an explosion goes off, as this is some sort of exploding spear tip.
Yeah.
It's basically a sticky grenade on the end of a long pole.
Yeah, no, I'll get away. Do I need to pilot check for it, or?
No, you made the right choice, and that's all you needed to do here.
Okay.
You're not under threat, so you were able to figure it out.
Okay. I guess making my way back to Dyne kind of quickly, I'll just say, like, one got away and has some weird explosive spear on him.
Oh, good. I look at Steve. Then let's do a quick patch, and I'm going to use my patch on him. It restores half his max HP.
Nice.
Perfect. Back
Get you up and running. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
No problem. That's what I'm here for, even though it kind of doesn't feel like it at times.
Good.
At least one of us brings a patch. All right.
I just catch my breath as Dyne, you can have initiative to do something.
All right. I'm going to walk a little bit forward and look around the corner, see if I can maybe figure out where our one escapee went.
As you peek around the corner, you can see the next hallway down is kind of like the hallway you're in, just at a right angle, right? It like leads further into the facility. You can tell that up ahead there are other rooms or hallways, you're not sure, that lead off of the hallway you're about to turn onto, because you could see where there are gaps in the scaffolding that would imply there are doors or other paths that lead off of the pathway you're headed to.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is quite the interesting little place. Since that guy got away, I'm not sure how much time we have to actually search it, though.
A lot of armaments for an admin building.
Yeah.
Did you notice those pods?
Yep. Seems similar to the ones we saw earlier.
That Lev. These guys are clearly making some sort of brainwashed army.
Well, for now, they're just brainwashed workers. Oh, if they have these armaments here, it kind of makes me wonder what's in the actual factory.
I don't know, but let's get pushed up ahead as soon as we can. We don't know if there's going to be more.
Yeah. You said there was 2 spears, and now 1 spear left?
There is one intact spear on the wall.
I'm going to bring it as a just in case.
Okay, absolutely.
Grab one of the spikers too, why not?
Yeah, okay, so I have rules for these. Firstly, the spiker is basically like your heavy signature. It's an ordnance loading weapon, but it has a shorter range and less damage, but has armor piercing. So you have to stand still to use it. It has 3 shots before you have to reload it. If you were using this on a battlefield, I would say it's like range 2, right? Like it doesn't go super far, but it's very powerful. This could get through mech armor, is what I would say.
Sure, okay.
It does 3 armor piercing damage when it hits.
Okay.
And then the large stick thing is a it is a I think the word is heavy AC. AC is like the melee equivalent, right? For pilots.
Yeah.
It's considered a heavy AC. But instead of doing kinetic damage, it does explosive and splash damage. And it's threat 2 instead of threat 1.
Makes sense. It is a spear.
And it's a one-time use. Like as soon as you use it, it's just a long stick at that point. So it does it instead of 3 kinetic damage, it does 3 explosive damage. But that explosive damage is splash. It can hit everyone around it if you aim it properly, and it's threat 2. It can also be thrown, but it can't be thrown very far because it's awkward. So it's still threat. Its range would be 2 if you tried to throw it as well. It's considered inaccurate, so attacks made with it would receive 1 difficulty. If we were in tactical combat. If you use it as a melee weapon to stick someone, it will just be taking the risk of getting close enough to do that.
Right, and getting caught in the explosion.
Exactly.
Cool.
So just note that down, the two of you, for, using those for while you have them.
Okay.
All right. Do you round the corner and go further into the facility?
Yes, carefully. Now that we know there are guards down here.
What does carefully mean?
Not as I don't want to say as nonchalantly as we were coming down the stairs, but weapons drawn, expecting resistance.
Okay. You would say you're both on guard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see some pilot checks then. What do we got?
This is a spot check, probably. That makes sense, right?
I'll take a spot check from Dyne, absolutely. What are you
21.
doing, KESTRAL?
What? This isn't like a investigate situation, so
Depends
I think
on what you think you're doing.
I think I'm just spotting too.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a thing for it, but I'll just roll 1d20. It's 11.
Okay, you both succeed. As you round the corner, you keep your eyes open. Neither of you sees sign of the soldier or guard or whatever you think of these people as got away. But you also don't see them taking up positions. It's quiet in the room except for the metal on the bottom of your boots as you're walking. As you examine the walls, you start to see things like more of those empty pods that you saw loaded in. You see, actually, Dyne, because you rolled so well, you see something out of place here. You see a book that's open to a page, like put face down, as almost as if it's like saving a page in a book. Like off to the side, just sitting on a piece of machinery, around like some cleaning materials that are pushed up against one wall.
I pick up the book and take a look.
It is a book. It's incredibly old. It actually looks like it's been rebound, but not like well. It's been like the binding of this book has been like taken off and then like re-scrapped to just be like a piece of, hardened cardboard, basically, right? But like someone wrote what it's supposed to be. It's a very, very, very old book. That says that it is the book about the flora and fauna of Batuska.
Batuska. Does Batuska ring a bell, like the name of what this planet was before it was?
It should. That while the world largely thinks of both this planet and the space station above it being the only habitable part of the planet left as E2705, the rebel group that has taken up on that space station is called Batuska's Oath. Batuska was the name of this planet before it was relegated to a disaster site and given a number instead of a name.
Interesting. You wouldn't expect flora or fauna to have survived down here, but, life is resilient. They can survive a lot of shit. I don't really intend to take the book with me, unless there's something very unique about the page that he's specifically on.
You look at it to see if there's anything specific about the page you open to. You notice that the page is randomly open to a page in the book about a creature called a lithosphere leviathan.
Fantastic. This planet had leviathans. I mentioned to Steve.
Yeah, it goes on to say, like, this is me, what's the word, like, summarizing what you see on the page. You find out that Batuska has naturally occurring megafauna called lithosphere leviathans. History has largely forgotten them, but they survived Batuska's long decline. They can range anywhere from about 100 feet long and 150 tons, all the way up to 1,000 feet long and 110,000 tons.
Does it mention their habitat, like underground?
Subterranean. They're burrowing creatures. Yeah. It describes them having many long tendril-like appendages and like almost like a drill-like appendage at its beak. It's like a big squid, right? It has like a beak, but its hardened beak is more. It's like an earthworm if an earthworm was a horror. Right? It has this hardened beak that's meant for like burrowing through ground. And it can use its many tendrils and appendages to like firmly grip the earth around it as it like burrows out in front of it very quickly. And like it can reach into it can like reach out with these small appendages. Small being a relative term, being relative to its body. Keep in mind that the larger lithosphere leviathans were about the size of a small spaceship. So these tendrils can like reach into small openings in the earth and like pull them through. You know how like you see squids escaping from zoos and things like that kind of stuff.
I look at Steven and go, well, I found Evelene's natural enemy.
Wait. What kind of zoos do you go to? With squids that escape.
It's like a common news story where like not squids. Is it octopus? There's one of those invertebrates is very wily and escapes their cages all the time.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. They're like cats, basically. They change their size pretty easily.
They can squish down so like small.
Cats. You're right.
Yes, that is a phrase I said that I will never live down. Well,
we'll
Dinky
see.
the octopus escapes from a New Zealand aquarium. Thanks, New York Times.
Told you.
That's some cat-like behavior.
Fucking cats. Cats of the sea, I call them.
So it begins.
All right. I'll just look over at you and go, okay. It's interesting, I guess.
Well, let's hope one of these isn't near here. Though now I'm curious as to if they were trying to keep tabs on one of these things with that machine for the map.
On the other hand, KESTRAL, you didn't find anything secret, but you are keeping a good eye out as you walk through here. You see Dyne like get this book, you have this conversation, you keep your eyes out, and KESTRAL, a thing you find is along these empty containers that you know were these pods that they assumably loaded people into who had undergone the tethering procedure. You note that there is, on some of them, not all of them, on some of them, there is labeling. Not label. It's not like someone took a fucking label maker and put a thing on the side of it. It's like stamped into the side of the machine, right? Into the side of the tube. There's a thing that you did not see on the other ones. It says, Symphonic doll prototype number 0.1.
I'll point it out to Dyne.
I will type out the spelling for you so you know what that said.
I guess they call these little war zombies symphonic dolls?
I don't think we've come across that before yet.
I'm trying to remember if we did in the showroom floor. I guess I'll call it the little maze thing that we went through, but I can't remember.
No, nothing like that. You did find some things like various thoughts on like projects that did not say anything about symphonic dolls.
Okay. All right, well, I guess let's keep going and keep an eye out. Are there unopened pods, you said, or no?
So I would say most of the pods are drained. So like they're clear. They're just clear glass. You can see the back of them. There's nothing, no liquid even in them.
Okay.
About 1 out of every 3 pods you see is a symphonic doll pod. 2/3 of the other pods are the pods you saw in that ship, like that had people in it back in the Lev facility on the station. You will find one pod that is undrained. It is a full pod that's full of like a slightly opaque blue liquid from top to bottom.
Opaque enough to see through?
No, like opaque as in can't see through it.
Yeah, okay.
Roll me a D3.
Three.
Right. It says symphonic doll prototype 0.1 on this one.
Is it the same one I was looking at, or is it a different one?
I was just rolling to see if the full one happened to be a symphonic doll tube or not. It is. It says symphonic doll prototype 0.1 on this one.
Okay. I'll point this out to Dyne.
Oh, goody. Let's hope this one stays closed until after we leave.
Or we open it and nip it in the bud.
I mean, that's also an option. Is there any, computer system in this room that I can take a look at?
There is. Every one of these pods has a little pad in the wall next to it. Even the empty ones. They all have a little, pad in the wall next to them.
I will go over to the one that is not been opened and see if I can figure out how to open it.
There is a security code on it. As you try to fiddle with it, it keeps blinking at you. A number of empty characters, like empty character lines on the screen, as if you have to enter some sort of passcode to get to the real controls.
I will only try once, and I'm going to try the password that got us down here. 7035.
0357.
Which one do you do?
I try 7035.
It does not work.
Okay. I go, I don't want to risk setting off an alarm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the pad blinks. Nothing else happens.
All right. Well, then let's move on.
All right. As you work your way further down, you come across what appears to be like a crossroads, so to speak. It's like a 4-way intersection where the hallway you're in goes for a little while longer, and then it also branches off to the left and the right. To the left, there is a single door, like just a door in the wall. It's like an access or a what's the word? Like a operator door, right? To the right, there is a garage door, like a shuttered closed door that's like 3 times your width.
Well, do we want to check their garage, or we want to try to proceed?
So
we should. I mean, we're here to look through for places.
Person door on the left, garage door on the right, and then the hallway continues ahead of you.
Let's look to the left first, really quick, and then we'll check the other one. By the way, just as a note, can we say that I've been taking some pictures of this place?
Oh, we absolutely can. What things were you taking pictures of specifically?
I mean, a couple of just the general layout and walls and all, some machinery around, right? A couple of the people we killed, and probably a few more of the symphonic dolls and the pods we've seen so far.
Absolutely. So you're going to the left door.
Yeah.
It is a little operator size door. It almost looks like a maintenance door. right? When you open it, and you open it easily because it's not locked, it clicks open. You're able to pull the door open. You look around, make sure there's nothing else in there. Who of you is taking the lead going in here?
I imagine the guy with the armor.
That's what I figured.
So me.
All right. So as you step forward, even through your environmental suit, it is unable to fully get rid of the odd sort of thick or humidity, kind of like an earthy scent is filling the air as you open this door. You can actually see your visor on your Enviro suit kind of like fog up a little bit as you open this door.
Fantastic.
It's weird.
You look at your suit's vitals real quick. There's no rise in toxic levels or anything. It detects an increase in humidity levels past this point, but like otherwise it's the same toxic air that the entire planet has.
Okay. We can see in. There's no immediate threats or anything, you said?
As far as you can tell.
All right. Then I'll start going in and looking around a little.
Okay. You enter into what appears to be an anteroom. You walk in and there is a bit of a you're almost in a hemisphere where it kind of like circles out to the left a little bit and then circles out to the right a little bit. And then there's like a safety glass wall in front of you with a door on the left and then a door on the right. But it's glass, so you can see through it. There is a hole in that room, like beyond the glass, there is a hole in the ground.
Is it like cement otherwise in there or something, or metal?
It is the same kind of concrete the rest of the building's been made out of.
Okay, there just happens to be a hole into
There's
that
a big hole in the middle. It's not gigantic. You couldn't fit your mech down this. Even your smaller mech wouldn't fit into this hole. But it is big enough that a person could fall down it very easily. Like slightly wider than a well.
Okay. I'll point it out to Dyne then and say, like, well, okay, let's assume this is part of your little dragons, leviathans, or whatever. Why would they want them or care?
I don't know. Honestly,
they're trying to make some bioweapon?
Honestly, I would think they would want to try to get rid of them, because considering their size, they could disrupt their operation more than anything.
So it's important to them somehow, we agree.
Mm-hmm. Is there any, like, sort of, like, computer panel or anything in this room?
Yes. Yeah, it's actually in the middle of the safety glass. There's a door on the left and the door on the right, and then dead center, there's a little podium that has, like, a readout screen on it.
I'm going to go over to this podium and see what I can figure out.
It is locked by code.
Fantastic. I will try my password, 7035.
What? So tell me the four numbers.
7035.
That does not work.
Okay. I look at him and I go, I'm not Astro. I'm probably going to screw something up trying to figure this out.
Yeah. Well, we can find what we can find, I guess. Let's snap a picture. The other doors are just full doors, no windows in them or anything.
The doors to the left and right, they open out into where the pit is. You're in an anteroom that has a glass wall that looks out into the room that has the pit in it. There's a door to the left and a door to the right. Both of them open into the room that has the pit in it.
Well, I have to imagine the large door across the way is either some maintenance or something for this room, but I guess let's go check it out. I really don't want to go in that hole.
One of you roll me just a dumb luck check, just a D10, no modifiers.
Sure, I got it.
Or not a D10. I'm sorry, a pilot check, no modifiers.
Okay, let me re-roll that D10 into a D20. A 3.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
Okay, I rolled worse somehow.
Yeah, I unless there's something else you want to look at, Dyne, let's go look across the way really. or continue down the hall.
Yeah.
All right, you guys exit. As you get back out into the kind of more main area, the fogginess on your visors starts clearing up a little bit. As the door closes behind you, the earthiness kind of like smell and humidity seems to go away.
Well, I guess things have returned to normal a little bit. You want to check out the other door, the more garagey looking door?
Sure. Is there any change in toxicity levels?
No, none.
Okay.
No, same levels inside and out.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, let's go check the other door. I'm guessing it's locked, but...
How do you plan on opening said door?
Is it like a garage door lift up or left right?
Yeah, it's like a garage door that has a shutter, like a big metal shutter that is closed down from the top.
Oh, and there's like no handle or anything?
There's no handle that you see. It's kind of like, when a shop in the mall closes its shutter down or whatever.
So it's not incredibly thick and heavy.
It's not incredibly thick and heavy, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just see if I can get some traction on it or whatever and see if I can just lift it.
All right, make a pilot check.
I don't know if there's a lift pilot check, so just roll a d20. 16.
16, you're able to get your fingers up underneath of it, and with the assistance of your hard suit, you're able to force it up. You could tell that it should not be moving, but you're able to move it nonetheless.
Sure.
Behind it is like a vast opening, and it is kind of like it is a warehouse is the wrong word for it. It's kind of like a warehouse. It's like a stock room. But like a stock room for a big box store, right? So it's huge in here. But it's all those like large, like almost like in a Sam's Club or like in the back of a Walmart or something. It's like these large shelving things, and they all have stuff on them. That's what kind of area you're in. In fact, off to your left, you see a forklift. You imagine that forklift is used to get things down from these shelves. They're all on pallets and stuff. Sure. This is like large supply storage is what it seems like.
Oh, good. We've walked into a Home Depot.
Yeah, kind of what that looks like.
I mean, as long as there's nothing else in the room that I can see after looking, I'd like to open one of the crates and look in, see what's there.
Yeah. You just walk up to like the first thing you see.
Yeah, sure.
Roll me a dumb luck check. Just a pilot check with no mods. I want to see what's in that crate. On a 13, you walk up to the nearest crate. It offers no resistance to you. You just are able to pop it open. And what comes out is a bunch of fruit that you can't identify. You've never seen fruit like this before. It just spills out on the ground. It's like orangish. There's like little like bulbous pustules on the side of it. It's really odd looking to you, but you know that, various planets have different flora and stuff, but this is a fruit you've never seen before.
Okay.
From a cursory glance, does it look like the fruit kind of has been affected by the atmosphere? I'm kind of basically asking, does it look like the fruit would be native? Is that something I could tell from a glance?
From a glance, you don't know enough about the native flora of the planet.
Kind of wish I had brought that book.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not there, but isn't there a book there that
if you
helps?
cross-reference, if you want to take the time, I would let you roll and investigate with that book if you want to do that. Because you would have to page through the book and look for the entry.
I mean, I have the book, but take a picture of it. We can look at it. We can look it up later.
Okay, absolutely.
All right. Just like one or two other crates. I mean.
Oh, sure.
I know fruit, but I don't know.
All right.
I'm the dumb luck again.
No, that will not be necessary. Okay.
It doesn't seem like they'd all be fruit to me, but maybe they are.
You pop open another crate, and this time when you kind of like lift off the lid, it is mostly packing peanuts. It's like a very well-packed package, and as you like push aside some of the packing peanuts that are in there, the styrofoam, you can see there's something that's heavily wrapped in like a tight plastic
membrane,
like a membranous wrapper, like a very like sensitive piece of equipment was probably packed in here. If you wanted to, you two could like pull it down off of the shelf and like really dig into it, but it would be hard to tell what this is without like fully opening it up and getting in there. That's the first one you open. Yep.
We don't need the forklift to get it down or anything, right?
No, I assumed you said you just walk up to the next two. I assumed you meant ground level ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did. I'm just making sure it wouldn't be like a big thing to pull it back. I know it would take some time, but it might be worth it to figure out what this is or have an idea. Because this is clearly supplies, but like fruit?
I don't know. It's not like we asked Zippo what's on the menu.
I mean, yeah, you think... I don't know.
Are any of these boxes
I'll pull it down
like...
I
was going to say, are any of these boxes marked? Like...
They all have like a little sticker under where they're put on the... scaffolding that they're on, but it seems like that sticker changes. Like it's easy to slide that in and out underneath the various boxes. And it doesn't have words on it. They're all numbered.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Anything else we need here then?
I wanted to pull the thing down and see what it was.
So if you want, you can open a third box, because originally we're saying two, but I figured after you saw this one, it might catch your interest. Are you going to just focus on trying to figure out what's in this box, or are you going to just wander off and open another box?
If I don't need help getting it down, while I'm getting it down, I'll ask Dyne to open up the third one.
Okay.
All right, Dyne, you walk over to a third box as Steve starts shimmying this very honestly heavy box, but it's like you can move a sofa, not a sofa. You can move like an armchair on your own. It sucks, but you can do it, kind of thing. That's what it feels like getting this crate down.
Sure.
Dyne, you walk over and you pop open the lid of another one, and you note there is actually a manifest in this one. You know how like sometimes people throw the paper manifest of a shipment on top of the shipment? And as you like pop it open, you see that it is another set of like styrofoam packing peanuts, like packing something underneath. But you just pull the sheet of paper up off the top, and you can see that it is addressed to a person named Seth Patera. It says Seth Patera, lead researcher at 70.106.
Snap a picture of that just in case.
Okay.
Cool.
As you start to push aside the packing peanuts, it was right next to the box that Steve opened up, and it looks to be, as you push aside some of the packing materials, similar equipment to what was in the other one.
Okay.
But this one had a pamphlet in it that says who it's addressed to, basically.
Excellent. Guess I'll look over and see what Steve's up to. Maybe go help him.
Are you guys going to take the time to, like, get in here and see what this thing is?
If it takes less than, 5 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah. If you take the time to, like, snap off one of the walls, you don't really care about property damage at this point, right? Like, you blew up shit. So, like, if you snap off...
I don't want to be a jerk.
Yeah. You snap off one of the walls of the crate and, like, let the packing peanuts spill out and, like, kind of, like, sift things aside to see what you're dealing with. I will let... one of you make an investigate check.
I think
the other person can assist.
I have 2 in mine, I think.
I have a 4.
Okay. I will assist you then.
All right. So, Orion, you can do this, unfortunately, with not accuracy.
I rolled a 4.
Yeah.
Okay. 18.
Didn't need it.
Dyne, you start looking over the stuff. It is actually pieces of something. You note that it is familiar to you. It kind of looks like segmentation tech, but it's like heavily modified. There are enough common pieces to it that you're able to, I mean, it makes sense too, you being the medical guy. You looked at Zippo and like how it was attached to him, and you saw the thing back up on the station back at the LIT facility. You're like, okay, there are enough things in common between segmentation tech and this that I think it's a derivation of it, but this would not appropriately fit a person at all. It's like big pieces. They're like separated. It doesn't look like it would fit to a person's spine properly. It's like it was made custom. This is like some sort, these are pieces of something that look like segmentation tether tech, but they don't look like the other pieces of tech you've seen before.
Fantastic. Looks like we have segmentation tether tech for something very big, and I don't want to find out what.
All right. I wonder if that's what the fruit is for, too.
Maybe. We're thinking back, were all of the pods that we saw, empty or otherwise, like human size, like relatively the same size?
Yeah, all the pods you saw in the main thing were all human sized.
Okay. Like, well, I'm betting that most of the workers probably had the segmentation stuff attached to them before they got here. This arrived piecemeal without attached to something. What are they attaching it to?
I mean, if it is one of these Leviathans, then maybe this is the right size for that.
I look at it and this seems too small for a Leviathan, doesn't it? Or is that just based on cursory knowledge?
Let me put it this way. You found multiple boxes of it.
Okay. I go, maybe if you had enough of it.
I'm just going to look down the warehouse at how many boxes there are. There's dozens, 100?
Yeah, I would say high dozens of big crates.
Yeah, they might. Well, snap, click, click. I'm going to jump to conclusions and let's say we move on, eh?
Yeah. it might be a good idea to start moving back towards the entrance. Don't want to risk getting caught and pinned down here.
I feel like we might be missing something, though, and there was that other person that crawled away.
That is true. All right, let's go see what we can find.
All right. As you get back out to the main hallway, it continues on ahead. Not very much further in the only remaining direction you can really go. It's not as big as like the big garage door that you just opened to like the storage area, but it's a large door that is like one of those big like lift up, like a powered door, right, that like lifts up and then closes down from above kind of door that's built into the walls, that is dead center in front of you and kind of like blocking the way forward.
Is there like a panel or something?
Yeah, there's a panel on the side of the wall.
I guess let's go see. Is there a way to open with it, or is it we got a keypad again?
It's a keypad, yeah.
I'll walk up and not expecting my code to work, but I will try the 7035 again.
As soon as you press the 7 and nothing else, as soon as you press a button, the door opens.
Huh. Is that a good thing or a bad thing as I look at Steve?
You both turn to look at the large open area in front of you. You can tell it leads into a room. You can tell it leads into a voluminous room, a large room, one might say. Kind of similar to the hallways you've been in. You can make out that there's scaffolding along the walls and like raised areas and catwalks going through the area. But you can't see much of it because it's very dark in there.
You got this.
I have my stick with an explosive on the end. I'm good. Look over at Steve and I go, proceed forward, proceed back.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right.
All right, the two of you enter the dark room. Do you have a way to see? How are you looking around as you're walking through the threshold?
I assume I have like a light somewhere on my hard suit.
If you don't have anything that gives you anything additional, what I'd be willing to give you is you both have like lapel lights, right?
Okay.
Like a little flashlight sized light on your chests.
Yeah, that's probably about all we have.
I mean, I have a data plating.
That would be like turning on a computer monitor. That wouldn't apply that much more light.
No, yeah, I was just wondering if there was any kind of sensors to it or not, but I guess no. Just calm jewelry.
Let's see. In my assault hard suit, it says the augment the user's strength typically feature an onboard computer, a sensor suite, integrated air burst EVA system, and waste recycling system. So a sensor suite, I don't know what that does for me though.
I mean, what it would do is it would let you do the system's abilities if you were in tactical combat.
Okay.
Yeah, like scan and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So as the two of you walk into this dark room, the door slams shut behind you. Just closes behind you as you enter in.
Oh, good. We entered the boss room. Now we just need to kill the boss. We can leave, right?
You don't know how right you are. As in this giant room, giant floodlights on the roof, starting close to where you are. You're plunged into complete darkness because the only light you brought into the room was behind you. And when that door slams shut behind you, you're in complete darkness. And then 2 by 2, floodlights come on, starting closer to you. Doof, 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 illuminating further and further back into the room as it goes, as the entire room is eventually lit up. It is.
There are 4 lights.
There are 6. As the entire room is illuminated, it looks kind of like someone's idea of a tactical training room for urban warfare in here. There are large scaffoldings and platforms and catwalks and runways and odd waist-high cover that, why is it even there? It looks like a Gears of War level in this room. And at the far end of the room, there is no back wall to this room. Instead of a back wall to this room, there is a large machinic device that almost looks like a cockpit, like that stretches out of the far wall and has glass, like hardened glass along it, almost like an observation deck. And you see a person standing there, elevated in this little observation deck, looking down into the room you're in. He's wearing a lab coat. He's balding. The top of his head is completely chrome dome. But he has white hair that goes kind of like in a C around the sides of his head and to his back. He's wearing he's wearing like a dress shirt with a tight black tie. It's like a maroon, dark red dress shirt. He's wearing like dark black pants, and you can't see lower than that, but know that he's wearing very shiny business shoes. And he has a lab coat on, like a very formal lab coat on over top of it. And extending out from his back, like holding a clipboard just up and to the right of him, is a large mechanical machinic arm that seems grafted to his spine, is like reaching up and over his back, like holding a data pad just off to the side for him in front, while he stands raised with his arms crossed looking down at you all in the area you're in. As you hear the tuning of a microphone and speaker system like come on in the room, and you can hear this booming amplified voice echo into the room. Ah, so you're the rats who entered my maze. Welcome.
Knew we shouldn't have gone into the dark room.
Well, you could have stopped us.
Well, let's not keep the important people, i.e. myself, waiting any longer. I am so glad that you have attended. Let us not be unkind to each other here. Introductions to start with. My name is Seth Patera. I am lead researcher here. What are your names?
Steve.
Dyne?
Steve, Dyne, welcome. I hope you're enjoying yourselves.
More curious than anything. Care to enlighten us at all?
I, as a man of science, welcome questions and inquisition. Come, tell me your questions.
Why do you need segmentation tethers as big as that? Is it for the Leviathans?
Oh, people who've done their research. He mockingly raises one finger up to wipe away a fake tear under his eyes. Oh, it makes me so happy that there are people out there who are not complete idiots. If I wasn't about to say a dear goodbye to you, I might consider you as a research fellow.
I will take that as a compliment.
As well you should. No, yes, I'm doing a little bit of research myself. We are pushing the boundaries of technology here. And I am one of the great explorers, like the people who charted the space lanes of old.
I see. And that has to do with attaching a segmentation tether to a Leviathan?
We need to see what they can do. Such raw power. Imagine what we could make use of if we could use this technology more freely, harvesting the very bioessence of planets to work for us.
Makes sense, if not a little terrifying, admittedly.
While Dyne's talking to him, I'm just going to be like looking around subtly if I can for like
you look around,
ways
and like I said,
out or anything.
There are other ways into this room. You can tell there are breaks in the walls that look kind of like the secret door that you use to come down here, right? It's like if you're looking very hard for it, you can tell where there's a break in the wall in such a way that that segment probably opens. And then, like I said, there's catwalks and walkways. It's like a Doom level or something, right? It's like raised areas and underways, and like it's that kind of place.
Okay.
I mean, to make it down here, I'm sure you've seen our workforce up above.
We have, yes, indeed.
Magnificent, isn't it?
Seemingly quite efficient.
Very efficient.
Is your research the main point of interest on this planet, then?
I am but one genius amongst fellows. I have gained funding for some of my own projects. The Leviathan project is mine, and I am spearheading it. What you see around you is taking place at other places on planet. I, as much of a genius as I am, I cannot heft the entire weight upon my back.
Well, I am being honest. I suppose we are being at least cordial with each other. It is frightening to think of.
How good to hear. Well, with the formalities aside, are you ready to begin the test?
I don't suppose I can say no.
Well, you can. It just won't make that much of a difference. It will be a different box I tick on my sheet, though.
Well, can we have any information about your test?
Of course. You will be joining me. He reaches out his arms, his two still organic arms to either side, as down from the ceiling, these arms come down and kind of like start assembling a harness on him. You're going to help me test some new toys that have been sent down from headquarters. They want me to put some effort into, as you see another arm raise down from above and start loading like some machinic like headgear on his head and start like attaching various like leads and electrodes to various parts of his head. They told me these symphonic dolls were their newest thing, and I had to do some testing, but won't they be so excited when I test them under live fire circumstances? I'm sure they'll be very interested in these results. As you see these arms continue attaching things to his body, you see these electrodes and mechanics attached to his whole body. And as he leans back, like arms come in from behind him and like kind of lift him up on either side. And then you hear a large kunk sound as something lowers from behind and seemingly stabs down into his spine. From that point on, his like eyes close and he is out like a light.
Oh, good.
This guy's like the worst parts of Dr. Octopus and Dr. Robotnik.
All of a sudden, all around the outside, 7 doors open. Each one of them is a fully outfitted guard, exactly like the ones you saw before, the 4 you saw before, as they disperse into this little tactical simulated room in front of you. And you can hear Dr. Patera's voice coming from the direction of one of these people shout up at you. Come now, this is going to be fun.
Lovely.
You know, Doctor, I think we can agree to disagree.
I feel a lot better about getting my ass kicked earlier now, because it means I don't have to do this.
And I think this might be a good place to stop the recording for the day. So,
Oh boy.
Way to be a team player, Evelyn.
I hope you're ready to help a mad scientist test his new toys.
Oh, very ready.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Can I bring Artemis into this?
You should have thought of that ahead of time. I'm sure she would enjoy herself very much as well. I am sorry, Chimera and Astro, but we will be picking up with the two of you at the beginning of next session.
Alrighty. Sounds
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yep, see ya.